Hello and welcome to today's episode of Rapid Fire Question Time with the UK's most trusted pump experts. And today we've got a question about rising mains. This specifically relates to either foul or surface water pumping stations, and in situations whether either you're designing a route for one or you're actually installing one in the ground. And the question is there a minimum radius bend required when either designing or installing a rising main? Tim, our head designer here, tell us the answer to the question. Is it required?
The short answer is yes, it is. So to ensure the rising main doesn't kink or deform, then it is always suggested that there's a minimum radius bend used on a rising main. This is typically specified by the manufacturers of the rising main, but is generally around 20 to 25 times the overall diameter of the rising main. Now this does depend on whether you're using SDR11 or SDR17 or another specification of rising main, but on a typical example, if we're using a 110mm rising main for a flow rate of around 4.8 litres per second for a small development, then we would expect the bending radius to be around just under 3 metres.
Okay, so in summary, yes, there is a minimum radius bend required, and you say it's either 20 or 25 times the overall diameter of the rising main.
Yes, that is correct. Other considerations also include, when laying the rising main, that the bend is not too near any joints. So if it's being fusion welded, for example, that there's a bend is a good distance away from a joint to ensure that the joint doesn't fail. And I know some manufacturers suggest that this is at least 5 times the overall diameter away. Sometimes it's more, but it's always best to check the manufacturer's recommendations for this when laying the rising main.
Fantastic, and there's your answer. There will also be a link in the description, take you to a page on our website that tells you the specific types and specification of pipes and the minimum radius bend required. With that, thank you very much for watching.
Thank you.